Hello again. Hope you guys are doing well. For whoever's watching, whoever comes across the videos, hello to you as well. This part of the video segment is going to be for the second half of the Major Arcana. And this part, we are going to start from the Justice card all the way down to the World. And we'll be doing the upright, the reverse, planets, zodiac, element, chakra, if any. Before I even get started, you guys, I found this YouTube channel called Eclipse Botanica. And it is, she's the, trademark owner and all that. And her name is Sarah Booth. Her freaking candles, and she does like this, her channel is basically about, and this is like not a promo or anything like that. That girl doesn't even know me from a freaking can of paint. I'm a customer. And I bought like, I've been following her for maybe like 2 months now. So she's just gone, self-employed, and she does these candles, which a lot of people did that because of the pandemic and things like that, and people coming up with businesses and things like that to do, to help hold up their households. So, for her, she started this year. And if you like, for the most part, masculine, scented, in between candles, this is it. And she's got one that is freaking awesome. And no lie, I bought, between my 2 orders in the last week, I think I've bought probably maybe about 10 candles off of her. No lie. And she does give discounts and things like that, but this is like an 8 ounce, which is pretty freaking big, and it was $19. And then she has a much bigger size, and it's like $29. If you spend like $35 or whatever, you get free shipping. It ships from Texas. And this is amazing. This freaking John Wick is amazing. And she has some other ones there, I think, like Golden Goddess, Basic Bitch, and whatnot. So anyways, if you're looking to divvy up from like Aldi candles and Bath and Body and all those other things, and this is freaking good. Eclipse Botanica. Like I said, it's not a promo. I just like them, and I just bought like a crap ton of them. So I've got her saved, so when I want more, I just restock on these. But this is a John Wick, and it's very like a guy candle, and it smells freaking great. Mandarin, sandalwood, and gunpowder. She's from Texas, so everything's bigger in Texas. That's what they say. But anyways, Eclipse Botanica. She's got a YouTube, and she sells them on Etsy. Yeah, on Etsy, and she has a Shopify. But I think her Shopify, it comes up like a website, however they do that, and it's eclipsebotanica.com. Anyways, that's my spiel on that. They're freaking amazing candles. Anyways. So, tonight, we're going to start off with the Justice card. So, with that, the Justice card is ruled by Venus. Zodiac sign is Libra. It is the air element, and of course it is your heart chakra. When we think of justice, we think of just do. Things being fair. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, right? Things falling back into place. We also think of karma. On that end, when it comes to justice, we can also think of cause and effect, or a domino effect, Since this happened, now this happens. Or as a result of this, now we're here. And what we can do to fix them. Another thing about justice is we can have justice can be internal and it can be external. In different areas in our life, and a lot of times things, whenever we think of justice and applying it into our lives, usually it's a major life, it can be life changing, but it would be a major change in our lives. That can be anything. Family, someone going to prison, child support, anything like that, fairness, something happening at work, people whistleblowing and things like that, scandals, corruption, making things right. So anyways, but other things that we can think of when it comes to justice, with that being said, being honest with yourself and also being honest with others, taking accountability, being responsible, telling the truth or the truth coming out, and setting the stage for balance and restoring it. Sometimes we have to make decisions to compromise in what's right, or what we perceive to be right, that will help for the overall picture. In the reverse, it can signify imbalances, clouded visions, dishonesty, avoiding the truth, aka covering up lies also. Which is not the same thing as avoiding the truth. It's just, not an answer. But either or, same, one and the same. But it can also be covering lies. I already said that. It can also mean corruption, consequences, retribution, revenge. Wanting to get back at somebody. And injustices, prejudice, biases like racism. You won't pick that up so much here, but more so biases and prejudices, if you want to count it that way too. That could be involved. Or going too far to make a point where it's destructive to yourself or others, and create further imbalances where there isn't any equilibrium, or that equilibrium is, it's fractured. So with this Justice card, it also gives us the message to get an outside perspective, right? When it's justice, a lot of times it can involve people on the outside who look at the bigger picture, or take in the facts and separate it from fiction, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but what really happened, and this is the way that we're going to do it, moving forward. And another thing too, hell, natural law, if you want to even go back to the ancient Greek philosophy on that ass. So, but it pushes us to look at the facts, be objective, to own up to past mistakes, and reaping what's sown, knowing the difference between defending yourself and going for the kill. Another thing too, when these cards are in the reverse, it can also be, and I said it, no, I didn't say it in the last video. I'm going to say it in this one. The reverse, when it's in the reverse, it can be an extreme of the upright as well. That's it. Just to simplify that. All right. So that's your Justice card. The next one is the Hanged Man or Hanged Woman. Okay. So with this Hanged Woman, you see a lot going on. You see this box here with this question marks, her needing to make a decision. You see this blue on the outside, the red on the inside, and that blue is what keeps her calm, cool, and collected on the exterior. But on the inside, with that red, that warm, that fiery energy, even though this is not a fire sign associated to this, but it is like going within. It's soul searching. Being still, reevaluating, feeling stuck, or like you don't have any current progress going on in life. Sometimes it's even needing to let go. um, being more aware, or being more spiritually aware, because you're going inside. You're looking for the information within, trying to separate what's what, who's who, in what order, in what fashion, in what form, so you can make the best decision from there, because a decision has to be made at the end of the day. You're also looking for a higher perspective, having to make sacrifices sometimes, or having to go through trials and tribulations through life, where you get your realizations and you're learning the lessons, and you're needing to decide and, and utilize free will, you know. With the hangman, hangwoman, it is ruled by Neptune. It is water sign, water energy, and it is your third eye chakra as well. With that being said, on the reverse, it's like indecision, stalling out, not wanting to accept things, not having any faith, going back to old ways of thinking, going back to your regularly scheduled program, and just staying in a mindset that's not serving you, and it's keeping you stagnant, even though you need to make these changes. But you need to release what's holding you down. You need to be able to detach, to make decisions, to get yourself unstuck. And it can also signify a sign of struggle. But without struggle and without stress, how would we be able to rebuild? And how would we be able to reform, to recreate situations for the better? But going within to gain a way to see things differently, and that includes reflecting in regards to people, places, things, and circumstances. So you see her having to think about what's really going on, having to make decisions. Now, normally when you see the hanged man, it's usually like a person upside down, and they might be on a cross in a tree, and their legs, or even their body is, bound to that object, and holding them in, supporting them, while they're in that position upside down, just being up in the air with things. But here it didn't do that. I put the rope here because it's more so of a decision on, what are you going to do? Are you going to make a move, or are you going to hang yourself? What are we doing here? Are you going to get away from this binding, this restriction, whatever it is that's holding you back? Are you going to come out here so you can go to greener pastures, so you can look outside and you can take a look at the bigger picture? In another video, we'll do the numbers. I won't talk about it now because it'll lengthen out the video way more. But you also see this golden angel down here. And this golden angel is a symbol of God, angels, divine messages, angels, spirit guide, whatever calls to you, whatever you practice, whatever your faith is, whatever it is that you follow, that is your spiritual foundation to what you seek, and where you are in your own, of what grounds you as well. So, but here you see this angel at the bottom here with the horn, and it's like the angel is coming in to come and toot that horn and bring you this message to let you know that it's time. And you need to make things go. All right. So that's what I have here for your hanged man, hanged woman. Alrighty here. This is your death card. Death card is ruled by Pluto. It is your Scorpio zodiac sign card. It's your water energy. And it has to do with the heart chakra. When you think of water, you think of ebb and flow. You think of emotions. You can think of family, foundations, things like that. When it comes to the death card, we think of physical death, but it isn't always a physical death. It can be mental death, spiritual death, endings to relationships or major endings that lead to new beginnings. It's closing the door so you can open another one. So, with that being said, major endings for new beginnings. And it can be on a physical, emotional, mental, capability, capacity, whatever. And also letting go to surrender to change so you can have transitions and be able to release old patterns and accept changes so you can progress. So you see how this skeleton, this skull here, it's patched up. It's time. We need to bury the dead. We need to put the dead where the dead is. Put things in the ground. Put a shovel over. Put some dirt on it, and move away from this, so that way you can keep on going, even if it tries to come back. Because you see this hand coming up here. If you have the card, you'll see it. It might be a little blurred here, but there is a hand here, and it's coming up from the ground, like it's coming back to come and reach up for you to come and get you. But it's in the ground, and it's having a hard time coming up. You got this black cat here in the corner too, just kind of looking back like But behind the skull, you've got this golden gate back here, and this blue skies, and this sunshine, and this red flag, kind of like a calling, and these two hearts back here. And what all this behind the skull just resembles a new beginning. You might not know what's coming, you might not know what's ahead of you, but all you have to do is just come out of this so you can get to this. And it's going to be something bigger, and it's going to be something better than what you already were going through. So, like I said, death doesn't always have to be someone dying per se. It could, but not all the time. But it's cutting cords, cutting ties, getting away from toxicity, getting away from the BS, so you can make it go. Get up out of that, because you got better things ahead of you. In the reverse, the death card is like resistance to change, avoiding transformations for the better, being stuck in your ways, needing to discover love and nourishment for yourself so you can improve also. With the death card, it's like being stuck in time. Without death, there wouldn't be life, right? So it's like holding on to things that do not serve us anymore. It's having fears, deteriorating thoughts, and clinging to the past, even for reasons of codependency and things like that, and just trying to avoid the inevitable. With this death card, it also gives us messages and saying, okay, you need to take stock of your gains, your losses, and you need to let them be your reminders. And while it's okay to be able to mourn and grieve, this graveyard is obviously here. But remember that this gate is back here, and it's there for a better reason and a season. And this door is also a symbol of transformation for the changes that are in this wayside here. I think that with this death card, and let's say you got a lot of wands in your reading, it could be, a death to however it falls, because whether they upright or in the reverse, okay? And if you're one of those readers who do the side, where it's like halfway stuck, in progress, stagnation, when it's, some people do their readings like that. But to me, if you've got a lot of wands, to me, it's an emphasis on desires and passions, even actions. If you've got the death card and you got a good portion of swords, you got a lot of swords out there, it could be to thoughts, expressions, how you speak to yourself, how you speak to others, communication, even justice, fairness out there. Just depends on what you have out there. If you have death and you got a lot of cups, for me, that's emotions, ebb and flow. If you've got the death card and you got pentacles, to me, it's related to, could be a death to work, maybe quitting a job, starting over somewhere else, changing schools, death of a family member, or even a divorce, a death to a situation, institutions, and even business, no longer working with certain business partners. If you, let's say you've got a death card and you've got Three of Pentacles, and your Three of Pentacles is in the reverse. Just an example, right? But that's just me, baby. Okay? Death card. Next one I got for you is the Temperance card. With the Temperance card, it is the Jupiter planetary alignment. It is the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. It's fire energy, and it also rules your solar plexus. So with the Temperance card, you see that she's here. She's got her rollers on. It's like she's either in a salon or she's made her own environment of a salon. She's got her little martini there. She's drying out her nails. She's got a little foot spa there filled with water. And like I said, she's got her rollers on. She's got her shirt right off the shoulders, and she's relaxing, and she's doing some self-care. She's nourishing herself. She's replenishing and refreshing the vessel, right? You got to take time to do that. So with the Temperance card, we're going to think of balance. We're thinking of healing, self-care, patience for yourself and others, integration, how she's incorporating different things here. She's got her drink, she's got her foot, she's doing the nails, she's got the rollers, she's doing a multitude of things here. And having patience doing them all at the same time. Which to me, if you're doing it all at the same time, that's also kind of like trying to prioritize and get things in order, and trying to utilize your time, like time management, in order to do these things so you can keep on going to do whatever else that you need to do. But you're trying to have some patience to do that. It takes patience to do that, right? So integration, renewal after a bad situation, being in the middle, and even conscious moderation. In the reverse, we think of indulgence, overdoing it, self-denial, neglect, not taking care of yourself, fragmented areas in life, disharmony, maybe even needing water. How she's got these beverages here. Well, this is a beverage, but that's water, but still a form of replenishing and nourishing. Maybe you need water. Eat healthier. Having conflicting interests, going to the extremes, not having any patience, chaos. Imbalances. Also, too, you know what? Being pressed for time. Excess and extremes where you're being pulled in several directions and not having enough time for what's important, or being able to prioritize or think and do for yourself due to too many demands. So in the upright, you've got time. In the reverse, you don't have any time. You don't have the patience. You don't have the will. You don't have the energy. You're scattered. You can't get it together. So even with that, this Temperance card lets us know that we need to practice gratitude, appreciate time, and not always compromising to a fall, to where we are taken away from ourselves. Also, too, mixing elements to create your own environment and your own ambiance. Like I said earlier when it was in the upright, you know, it should just kind of set in the stage to get it together and to prepare as well. That's your Temperance card. Here you've got the Devil card. Devil card is one of my favorite cards. And that is because I think of Devil in a blue dress, kind of like the movie. Where you also here, you've got this long black arm with this hand and these long fingers reaching to open that door for the two people who are coming in, and they're in the back in the shadows in this yellow. They're back here in the shadows. And you see this exit sign. This exit sign because there's only one way in and one way out of this contract, right? So she's got her contract. She's got her pen here. You see she's got her martini here. She's got her little glass. And you kind of see how there's this kind of tunnel on the sides here with this red and black checkers in the back. And then these curved, bright, like kind of warm golden yellow seats in the back. So you'll also see that it looks like she's kind of wearing a wig, and she's got like a little wig cap going on right up underneath. And you see she's got a pentacle necklace. You can't see it so much on the video, but when you have the card in front of you, you can see that that's a pentacle. One of her hands, it looks like you know, the hoof or the foot of a goat, but also finger like a human. She's got her paper contract there with her signature, and it says Devil. It's got a little check mark. She's got a pen there. You'll also see her horns here, sitting right there on the table, because before she takes this wig off, she's got just one more. You see that finger? She's just got one more contract to do before she wraps up her day. She takes that wig off. You already see she's got her horns on the table, and you see where she's taking them off from. So this Devil in the blue dress, like I kind of already gave it to you a little bit, it's contracts. Whether it's spiritual contracts, it's business contracts, depending what you have going on in the reading. It can also be new relationships, new partnerships. Doesn't have to be romantic, right? But also, this Devil card can also represent like the devil being a puppet master. You know, trickery, or being like a trickster too, you know. And something about the devil always knows where to go, you know. And the devil always comes to collect, right? You give some, you take some, but they always come to collect whatever it is that you traded off for. Whatever you sacrificed for to get what you wanted, whether it was the right way or the wrong way. So with this Devil card, it is associated with the planet Saturn, and it is the Capricorn zodiac energy. Also, you know, the animal is like a goat. So I gave her a little bit of goat hair, like a little chin hair right there. It is your earth signs and your root chakra. So moving back to the card, it is like having a new contract, but it comes with a price. It's bondage, restrictions, self-sabotaging behaviors, personal shame, codependency. And codependency is like It's like another form of imprisonment, if you ask me. It's like you're putting yourself in your own jail, in that own situation there, and just to serve a temporary need, and then you might end up getting stuck there. You never know how it pans out. It can also be sexual curiosity, with these two people here in the shadows. You never know. And getting what you want in a devilish way. The devil makes you see your own shadow. It makes you see your own ways. So ain't no telling in this contract what these people are about to sign for themselves when it comes to that. In the reverse, it's like game over. No more playtime. No play over here. It's removing the obstacles, lifting restrictions. It's taking away it's like taking away materialism. And you're having to get realizations and truths as well. Like I said, when you go into a contract, you don't always know what's going to come of that. So, but also in the reverse, it can mean codependency being released. Because in the upright, I said codependency being like a form of imprisonment. Independence, reclaiming your power, restoring control, seeing things, seeing people, places, situations for who and what they really are. It's like looking into ourselves to overcome shame and guilt, confronting our shadows, and sometimes even our inner demons when it's in the reverse, right? So, what I will say about this devil card is it's like it gives us and I turned it off the wrong way. It's like it's telling us to identify the voids that we're trying to fill. To be rooted, get back grounded, being self-aware, that we need to release shames and secrets. Sometimes bringing things up to try to heal ourselves by sharing something about ourselves, it pushes us to also explore trust, but confronting your shadows, your shadow side, and accepting your own imperfections as well. If you ever have like the devil card and you got pentacles out here, it'll help you determine like if it's contracts with new people, if it's business, networking with others. If you have cups, it could be new people, groups of people, things like that. Okay. Maybe wands can be creativity, passions, desires, things like that. All right. So where is my stack? Where is my stack? Where is my stack? Oh, right behind me. All right. So here we are. Tower card. So with this Tower card, it is ruled by Mars. It's fire energy. It's your crown chakra, right? With this Tower card, you see these stick figures jumping out of the windows of the tower. You see this crack going across because it's like a cracked foundation. I've got this red and this black here. And I tried to make them kind of like those old school like Batman bubbles, and they said like boom, pow, clang, ping. Except they don't have those words there. But, something to the effect of that kind of just gives you a signal of alarming. And so this black is also kind of like a shadow for things that are coming, what's to come, right? Kind of like an overshadow. So, and you'll see like the little middle finger up here. You see this helicopter going down. It's like empire is falling down, you know. And I have this hourglass just also falling out, you know, kind of like a time's up type of ordeal with the empty part of the hourglass in the upright, even though it's falling down. And you know, you see some of these things here. You see a little graveyard down here, and you know, somebody's landed here, somebody's landed over there. You see this lightning, the fire, and it's like the fire starting from underneath, and just the flames just coming up, you know. So it's a lot going on, especially with these colors. A lot to look at. But in this Tower card, it's like empires fall down. Surrendering to change, letting shit hit the fan, sudden changes, collapses to ego and false starts, major shakeups, because this is also part of the Major Arcana. So, you know, just like a major shakeup, a major takedown. It can even be like a, you know, a whistleblowing situation, you know, corruption coming to a head, and now, you know, people are trying to get it together to try to, you know, see what they can do to get up out of this, but it's inevitable because this was bound to happen. And time is up, right? With that hourglass. So, again, back to this Tower card. Not that we got away from it anyways, but it's like something that's coming as a major change to change a situation entirely. When you don't make the changes when you're supposed to make them, everything will eventually fall in line for that breakdown to happen. So it can also be people taking themselves out, including by force. In the reverse, this Tower card can be resistance, misplaced fears, avoidance, like avoiding the truth, wanting to keep your rose-colored glasses on. It can also lead to fresh starts, so you can rebuild and you can have some type of restoration. Because you have to have a breakdown in order to build up again. Wherever there's a debit, there's a credit. I do government mortgage lending for people. So I always tell my borrowers, wherever there's a debit, there's a credit. You can't have one without the other. If you're going to take away from here, you got to add it somewhere here, and vice versa, because everything has a balance. And I always have to put it in perspective when I talk to my borrowers like that. Not that I'm trying to really talk about my day job, but it's another way to look at this and think of it. So, also with this Tower in reverse, it's like avoiding a disaster, the inevitable. You need to embrace transitions for sudden changes. And it can also be like holding on to cracked foundations, you know, with this crack here going across the card, you know, and like through the building. So, a toxic environment, toxicity, trying to avoid exposure to corruption as well, you know, trying to hide secrets. And this can even be in institutions. It can be in government too, you know, and different entities. It doesn't have to just be in a personal life or a family situation. Like I said, it's part of the Major Arcana too. So those are major milestones, you know, how we live our lives day to day, but are major institutions as well. Okay, so with this Tower here, the Tower kind of gives us a message to say, okay, what types of changes need to be made? You have to trust that everything happens for a reason, so things can get back in line with foundations that are bound to fall down. You know, you have to look forward to restarts and make room for growth and improvement. Learn from crises, you know, and also ignoring problems creates more problems. You put a band-aid on it, you take a shower with a band-aid, band-aid gets wet. You gotta take it off, right? Put a new one back on. Knowing you need to give that wound some air. So anyways, that is your Tower card. Okay? Upright and reverse. Alright. So here we are, Superstar. So here we have the Star. Star is a lot. Star is heavy. And I tell you why. The Star is heavy because the Star can represent us. The Star can represent the self. Focus of you. And I say this to go on with what I'm saying, of course. You see this starfish, right? So you see this corner with this yellow. And you kind of see this line here, and it's got some other lines like it's patched up. The Star is also a symbol of like restoring yourself. It's a symbol of healing. When you think of a starfish takes time. It needs time to give itself to grow its limbs right back. So, you know, depending on the size of the starfish, depending on the type of starfish, depending on the environment where it can grow, where it's at, might take months for it to repair itself, might take years to repair itself. So with this star here, planetary alignment for Star is Uranus. It's the symbol of the zodiac sign of Aquarius. It's your air sign. It's your crown chakra, right? So the Star also kind of makes me think of time, you know, not after I've done all that spiel. But it gives us hope. It's healing energy. It's like being spiritually led. It can also represent children. So having faith that things will improve in good timing. Healing can be emotional, physical, spiritual, mental as well, you know, all of those things. And the star sign can also be a sign from God because it's healing. It's like keeping your head up high and having clear signs being shown so you know what direction you're going in, and giving you a greater sense of awareness. In the reverse, it's like feeling hopeless, not having any faith, needing to remove blockages, not having any support, even neglecting your mental health, right? Because in the upright, it's like a focus of yourself and restoring, repairing, healing, giving yourself time to recuperate. And in the reverse, it's just not happening. You know, you're neglecting the self-care type of feel. Also, too, it's like having a loss of trust in yourself, having a loss of trust in others as well, and making it hard to bounce back and be resilient. So it's another way of being like discouraged and feeling hopelessness or not feeling inspired at all. So it's also like feeling exposed. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So again, In the upright, it's like deep faith, fulfillment, being spirited too. Um, the blue can represent calmer waters, and the red for warmth. And like I said, this yellow corner here of this regrown limb, it's like representing a vitality for life, because yellow is also a color of like healing and mending energy, renewal. So without hope and faith, without guidance and awareness, how do we lead? How do we live? And how do we grow from that? So the messages that we can take away from the star sign. Yeah, star sign. Look at me. From the star. I know in Aquarius I've had him on my mind a lot lately too. So, anyways, well, that digress, baby. So, with this, it's like letting us know that we need to be optimistic in times where we need to perform and be resilient within. How we feel inside shows how we feel on the outside over time, right? So, but at the same time too, like I said in the beginning, we are like our own star. The star is us. We are our own focus. We might have family, we have kids and responsibilities too, but we are the vessel. We are the vessel. So in that, I'm gonna wrap it up and leave it this. You can also think of it like finding your purpose, your talents, being inspired, even by the simplest things. And finding hope and taking chances where it's worth putting our efforts to as well. All right, Aquarius, let me get up out of this card. All right. I think this one is the obvious. This is the Moon card. The Moon card is Neptune. Neptunian energy, planetary alignment is Neptune. It can be Pisces or Cancer, but mainly Cancer. It's water energy. It's your third eye chakra. The moon is a big freaking deal, because the moon on the top, in the front, face, up here, it's all nice. It looks good. It's a great view. You've got the moon, the stars in the sky and everything. But then you have this underneath. And underneath, it's secrets. You see these shaded hands here. They're shaded, they're in black. That moon is another color. And underneath here, you got the dying fish, you got broken heart, you got snakes, collecting bones out here, kind of like a bone carrier, a bone collector. And it's just things that you don't see underneath in the upright. So when you're looking at this card, this part is the upright. This is your reverse. And of course you have your numeric down here. But I said that we'll do the numbers in another video. Right. So with this moon card, again, like I said, it's like secrets, lies, illusions, mystery, being in a dream state, la la land, toxicity, not following your intuition. Can also represent having a dark night of the soul when you're going through your shadow cycles and you're trying to process stuff and it's making you crazy and you're ready to knock some heads off because you're trying to find your way through your freaking emotions and the things that are going on in your life and things that are going on around you and whatnot, and how and trying to navigate through that. So it also represents a time of uncertainty, dark emotions, feelings, fears, seeing through illusions. Um, in a love reading, the moon card is like a notice for you to take precautions and to let you know to not wear rose-colored glasses. And if a monkey finger is right and the story checks out, then good. But that's what the card tells you to do if you're doing that kind of reading out there. In the reverse, the moon card, it's like avoiding fear, not wanting to do the work. But you need to release the fears. And it can also be an ending to uncertainty as well, you know? Things not being what you thought that they were going to be, and now they're turning out to be something else. So now you know what's going on. Now you see the truth. Now you see things for what they really are. And so now you got the answer that you were looking for. You weren't sure. Now you're sure. So now you know. And now you got to make moves, right? So it also talks about and kind of takes us through like self-deception, anxiety, misunderstandings. Also too, moon cycles. We can give it that. New moons, full moons, waning, waxing. And especially if you're doing divination during those times. When you're bringing in the new, and then you have another cycle of the moon where it's a period of time where you need to let things go. Right? Right. So, with the moon in reverse also too, and I'll wrap it up. It's like separating behavior and having misinterpretations too, but you got to use discernment. And I'll cap that there on the reverse. What the moon card also kind of lets us know that what you need to do is we need to observe fantasies. What's fake? Fake versus real. You know, that we need to get our emotions in check, because the moon, it's you know, it's related to Cancer. It's Cancerian energy. It's ebb and flow. It's water. It's emotions. So we need to get our emotions in check from the inner to the outer. We got to start within so we can show on the out. Having deja vu feelings of unresolved emotions as well. I think I'm good on that. Yeah. Because the moon is like closing out cycles, habits, relationships, needing to get closure. I talked about the moons really quick. New moons, full moons, letting go on one cycle, the next cycle. Yeah. I think full moon is the cycle where you're needing to let go. Because normally you kind of feel full, you feel overworked, stressed, and you feel like you're kind of getting ahead of yourself. And then that new is when you need to call in the new, take out the old and bring in the new. I want to say that it's like that. All right, so I'm good on this one. That moon energy will make you meditate, you know? Because it's like one of those cards that you also have to kind of go within too. You got to be your own empath. Get away from that confusion. Getting away from veils. You know. And that self-sacrificing too. That's a lot. I don't know what's going on with me and these water These water sign cards, man, I go on the deep end with these. The hell? Alright. So we don't have too many cards more to go. We've got Star, Judgment, and World. And then we're going to wrap that up, baby. Okay? So with the Star card is your fire energy. It is your solar plexus. I said star. This is not star, baby. This is the sun. Ooh, I'm losing it. I've even heard people say that the sun is linked to Leo zodiac. I mean, I can see that. Because it's warmth, it's radiation, it's the energy. When you think of, you know, the outer part of this, it kind of looks like a mane on the sun. So I can kind of see that. Moving forward, with the sun, it's like radiant energy, it's warmth, vitality, it's youthful energy, it's getting out, getting some sun, right? It's getting some vitamin D. If you haven't been out, you need to come out, right? Sun will come out tomorrow. So success, enjoyment, it can also symbolize children or childlike excitement, you know, like being super duper excited for something. But the sun is also a power source. Like I said, your vitamin D, needed to get out, get some sun. Being physical, moving forward. Another thing too, with the sun, the sun sheds light for outcomes that are positive, favorable outcomes. The sun also gives us clarity, right? It's like being directed to creative ventures that can also lead to another journey, right? And it takes you to the next stage in your life cycle, whatever that new endeavor may be, or something that you're doing now that you're closing out, depending on what you have around. And then it pushes you to kind of elevate and spread it out more, elaborate more, or you have something that comes and it spawns off of that, kind of like an offspring type of ordeal. You have your parent and you got the child, right? So you start one big thing and then you're like, all right, I'm good with this, but now it's giving me ideas to expand in another way, right? So you see how you've got these like rays going down where it's radiating energy, and you see this growth of flowers down here, and you see love, and you see spirituality here, and coming out of the clouds, right? So that's what the sun does. You know, it gives life, new energy, and gives you more hope for things to come, right? And you're giving out. It's like the output for the input, and vice versa, you know. But it's outgoing. It's built up and then it goes out. In the reverse, the sun is like reflective energy, right? It bouncing back. Cloudiness in your visions, feeling down, not able to make determinations, being stuck in the clouds, ambiguity, sometimes even being too optimistic. Like I said, the reverse can also be an extreme of the upright. So being too optimistic and not being in touch with reality, right? So trying to think of no energy, even sadness, negativity, right? Because when we think of the sun, we think of happiness, positivity, radiating energy, right? So in the reverse, that would be like negativity, not having much of energy, feeling lifeless, right? Because the sun radiates energy for growth and vitality. Sometimes too, depending on the cards surrounding the cards can also symbolize being overconfident as well. Which, same thing, like being too optimistic, but being too positive, but overconfident. And overconfident can be good or bad, right? Um, but like when I say overconfident or like big kahuna type of energy, is if maybe if you have like a Six of Wands or a Five of Swords out, or maybe even the Fool card or a Nine of Cups, Magician, Emperor, or even a King of Swords card, where it's like nasty, super arrogant, cocky type of energy. All right. Wrapping up this one, the Sun. Um, it gives us like the message to see more possibilities, to create realistic expectations and goals for ourselves and in our environments, you know, our sacred spaces, sacred places, what we do on a daily basis, how we plan things for ourselves, right? Because we want to build things that last. And the Sun works hard every day, even when we don't see it, right? The Sun works for us as well. You know, it gives us life. It gives us breath, you know. That energy, you know, gives us that natural vitamin D. When you're indoors for a long period of time and you finally go outside, it's a different feel, right? So that wraps that one up. I could see that being the energy of Leo, though. All right. So here we go. We are at the Judgment card. With this Judgment card, you see these hands of like the people down here reaching up from kind of like from the shadows, and you see this person. It can be, you know, divine, the divine here in any form, fashion that you see it, whatever that is to you, God is to you, that calls judgment. And you have these angels here on the side, and they're just kind of like making the call, that big call, that announcement. And basically you can't avoid this. It's time, and it's ready, and it's here for the taking, you know. And you have these people here surrendering. So with that being said, this is very much a spiritual card, of course. The Judgment card calls for us to realign ourselves, and maybe even with others. Maybe even finding your life's purpose as well, you know, being lost and not really knowing where to go, not just things not going right, and then you're just ready to just say, you know what, I'm gonna give it to God, right? I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna let the chips fall where they may. Get that out the way, so that way I can really get on the path that I need to go, so I can improve myself, my situation, my family, my this, my that, my boop 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 boop, right? But it's like your inner voice. Judgment, it is what it is, and it's going to come regardless, and it's going to give you a breakthrough. It's going to be like a revelation. It's going to be life changing. Remember, it's part of the Major Arcana, right? It can be a rebirth, letting you know that you need to have grace, right? Because Judgment card is also kind of like a representation of God in the tarot, you know, God, goddesses, angels, that type of realm there. So, another thing too, the planet to this is Pluto. It's fire energy, and it's also your crown chakra. I don't want to forget that. But you needing to release the things that hold you back, so that way you can make decisions in your life that can change, of course, and improve relationships as well, right? So in the reverse, with this Judgment card, it's like ignoring the calling, ignoring your gut, ignoring your intuition, not taking great advice, even not wanting to think clearly, wanting to stay in stuck energy. It's resisting the signs, right, of what you really need to do. Not being able to forgive, not surrendering, not releasing, staying in double energy. I'm going to throw that out there. You don't really hear that, but I'm going to say it. Staying in double energy. Delays and blocks. Maybe even self-doubt. Not being authentic, being indecisive, not being practical, choosing to be sheltered, and avoiding things that continue right in your face. And they present themselves, and they represent themselves, and they represent themselves, and they represent themselves in a cycle, all in the same way. Could be the same thing, same concept, different person, different situation, different time, different place, same sugar, honey, iced tea. And ignoring messages that are being sent to you. Avoiding, like, the obvious. Trying to avoid the obvious, right? Constantly in your face. Maybe even signs and synchronicities too. If you wanna take it out that way as well. That's just me thinking forward, thinking outside of that, right? Judgment also lets us know that we need to follow our purpose. We need to assess things, be honest, be unencumbered without worries and burdens, right? Like these people down here surrendering because it's time, and these angels are calling in, right? They're coming down, they're shining down on you, right? With these rays coming out from here, right? And this divine person here, this divine symbol. There's this grand love coming up here to cast judgment and say, okay, it's time for you to make a change, right? But it tells us that we need to work on self-awareness, to be more mindful, sometimes to be still and just take things in, and not fear judgment. And at the end of the damn day anyways, whether you're doing good, whether you're doing bad, indifferent, whatever, people always got something to say anyways. It's always something. People are going to judge you anyway. Whatever. But anyways, that's the judgment card. Now I'm freelancing. We are on the last one. Where are we? We're at 1 hour, 8 minutes. So we're in similar timing with the first video. Alright, so this world card, it is the planet Saturn. It's your earth energy, earth signs, and your root chakra. So when we think of the world, we think of completions, right? Been around the world and start to finish. So when you have the card in front of you, if you've got my deck, and if you don't, you got somebody else's deck, I don't know what else they would have. I have other decks too. So all my world cards look different. But it tells you start, and it goes all around this globe, all the way to finish, right? And you've got this birdie here up here, kind of like a messenger, and you got the Statue of Liberty down here, kind of holding the victory up for you once you're coming around, right? So the world represents accomplishments, having the world in your hands, completing projects, seeing them through, finishing the work, seeing, reaping the rewards of the things that you've sown, in a positive way, because it is in the upright, right? It's like reaching your final destination. You had a long way, but you made it. And with the world, it also represents mastery, right? From being seasoned or experienced in life and And that can be in regards to career, or craft, skill, expertise, whatever, right? But you made it. So, but it also lets you know that you've gotten a grounding and an understanding of soul truths, and that you've also done the inner work, right? Start to finish. The world is your earth energy. So when we think of earth, we think of grounding as well. Um, Foundations, firm foundations, that are sturdy and long lasting as well. I like this card. I never really, now that I really kind of say it all like that, I do kind of like this card, because it's prioritizing, it's like self-managing yourself, it's organizing, and making sure that you see through it from start to finish, just like that. I like that. I put that there. I like that. That was good. In the reverse, it could be no closure, stagnation, not having any fulfillment. That could be at work, at home, family, yourself, people on a day-to-day business in different institutions, things like that, right? So again, the world is part of the Major Arcana. So also like not having the world in your hands. The other way is the opposite. It's like you got it all. Feel like you got it all. You've accomplished it all. And you want more, and you're going to do more, right? You do it all the way from start to finish, and now you're about to start to finish something else, right? Because that's the progression of it. It's success, right? So in the reverse, it could be delayed successes as well. Needing to take a break, or even take a hiatus. Learning the lesson so you can come back and fulfill the journey or the cycle, or major stage in your life that you're trying to get through. And baby, let me tell you, it doesn't have to be just work, family, home. That can be like addictions. Smoking, I don't smoke, but I'm just saying, if you started smoking and then you were making the steps to stop, and you recover yourself, you heal yourself, you start however it is that you started, whether you do the patch, you do the gum, you go to classes, you do other things to keep your hands busy, keep your mouth busy, keep your mind busy, and just kind of spread yourself out into other things. And then before you know it, you might not be smoking in a year, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, however long it takes, because everyone is different, right? But that's just another example of how a situation can take place in the world card. Just saying. That's a major thing, because that's your health, right? But that's just me. I'll say too, with this world card, and the reverse, even though I kind of wrapped that up too, but be like feeling empty, because in the upright you have accomplishments, right? Like having the world in your hands. But upside down in the reverse can be like feeling empty. When the world is full of life and you have experiences to explore, when you're in this energy, it's like not having any resolutions, it's being stuck, having to go back to the drawing board, see where you messed up at, having disappointments, not mastering your goals, having issues with ideas and plans. Like I said, you have to go back to the drawing board, right? Because you lost focus somewhere. You might need to go back and tie loose ends. And maybe in another type of reading, like if it's like love or something like that, probably holding on to things that have ended, right? Like not being able to let go of the past, and you're clinging on to that shit for dear life, right? So looking at this too in the upright, when you're looking at the world, is like life all around you, life and energy all around you with these corners here. You got another number too, but like I said earlier, I'll do that in another video. But the world also comprises of the elements as well. Even though it's a earth sign card, but I can see that being there. Just in colors alone, right? It's not like the wheel. World is totally different though. All right, so that comes to that. But with the, I'm going to wrap this one up. With the world card, it gives us the message to appreciate who we are and to continue to work toward it. And if we have to make the changes required, right? So it's okay to reward yourself every now and then for the accomplishments that you achieve, especially for the better, you know. And it gives you, it just gives you something inside, and your grounding and your foundation in where you are, that you can look forward to more opportunities ahead, right? But along the way, you heal yourself as required. And you keep your words, you keep your intentions, and you keep your actions in check so you can keep the focus. And with that being said, what is that saying? I think it's like your thoughts turn into your words, and your words turn into your actions. There's a saying, but it goes some kind of shimmy like that. Some kind of shimmy like that. But it's like you want to set your goals and slay them, because we create our world. We are our own alchemists, and we shape our mindsets on a daily basis depending on our external and internal factors that influence what we consume. Right? Kind of like swallowing a pill. If I don't stop freelancing, I know something. But that is the world card. So we've gone through these 11. All the way through. So cutting this out, there's 2 videos. First 11, the last 11, and that is where we are. All right, thank you for watching. Hope this was helpful. If it's not my deck, it can be another deck, but at least you have the videos here to go back on the information. At least if you need a visual, if you need to hear it, besides just reading and someone saying, go read it. But it's here. All right. So remember that the major arcanas are major milestones, baby. Also, too, with that full card, I know I said it in the last one, but if you have the full card, let me grab that damn full card. Let me grab that. Full card is the blindfolded girl walking into the pool. I'm not even going to pull it out. I'm just telling you what it is. But if you have the full card and you have a court card can, for instance, court card can be like a page, king, queen, knight, right? It means a person that you don't know. And also, too, with the majors, it can relate to spiritual paths and decisions that shape who we are and what we manifest as well. So, I think going through all the set, it takes you through that. But I think this was a good set, too, that emphasized that a lot as well, you know, because these were kind of like our motions and where we're led to. You know, we got this world card, we got this judgment card out here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Realizations, healing, letting the chips fall where they may, shit hitting the fan, contracts, you know, new ventures. We don't know what's going ahead. We're going to see what we can shimmy out of this deal. What do you get out of it? What do I get out of it? You know, and just going through the motions of that. Going in blindly sometimes, right? But taking the time to take care of ourselves because we're the vessel. And giving a death to things that no longer serve us because there's better things ahead. And letting those things go, right? Getting out of our heads, right? Justice here. Things that are fair. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Baby, let me stop. I'm going to do these damn readings up in here, okay? But that concludes that. And I will say that my deck does come with a dedication card. And it says for every day we blink and breathe, the sun will always set. And when the sun rises, we have a new day to reset and be better than we were yesterday. We are our alchemists. We are our own alchemists. And that says a lot. Every deck comes with this dedication card. And even when I see it every now and then, it's a reminder, you know. So this deck, it's made with a lot of love, a lot of intention. And I think you see it. If you have the deck, you see it for sure. If you have any questions about the deck, let me know. If you want to know more about the deck, there's a link below. You can find it on Etsy. It's called Shuffle Up. It's Googleable. Googleable. And I do have the deck at $36. I do have a sale, I think maybe through the 31st or something like that of December, and I think it's down to like $32.40 just for now, and it does have free shipping. Every deck will come with a card reference guide, and of course you have the videos here available to go to, depending on what type of learner you are. If it's the reference guide that works, if you're auditory, if you're visual, or if you want to incorporate all three, of course, whatever works for you to help you learn the cards, and any other deck as well too. This is my deck, but I also have other decks too. So I have like Rider-Waite, I have Light Seers, which I've been wanting to get, and I finally got it. And one of my favorite decks is the Golden Girls, and that's because I'm a Golden Girls fan heavy, even though I'm 37. But I remember every freaking episode of the Golden Girls, so I made sure that I got that freaking deck. And even with that card, when I go through those cards, I remember the episode. I remember the guy. I remember that situation. I remember what happened on that episode. So anyways, I love that freaking deck too. And one of the most recent, I have a Rider-Waite. I have another deck that is a Spanish deck, and all it is just cards and numbers, but those decks, they're only like 50 cards. And so you have to kind of like incorporate numerology in that too. And then one of the most recent decks that I bought was the Edgar Allan Poe. It's like the Telltale Heart. Yeah, Telltale Heart stories. That series there. And oh my God, if you like that kind of stuff. So I fell in love with that deck too. So but this is my baby right here. I have other ones, but this is my baby right here. And I do have another deck that's called Shadow Affirmations. And Shadow Affirmations, I did that around a time where I actually did it about nine days before my grandma was killed. And something told me was happening, and then just one day on Halloween in 2020, I just sat down and I just kept writing, and I kept writing, and I was going through a bad breakup and stuff like that. I found out my ex was a junkie, and and all kinds of other stuff, and I grew a lot from that, and this deck came from that. And then the same year, I lost my grandmother, and it was a lot. I put a lot into this deck. It came from a lot of places. Some of these cards represent people I know and things like that, situations. And the colors are in here. The colors say a lot too in a deck. And the colors symbolize a lot of things, Blue, like trust, intelligence, calm, faith, stability, power. Orange is attraction, standing out, thirst, wealth, youthfulness. Pink, sensitivity, being sympathetic, or love type of sensitive, caring energy. Purple, like royal, regal, mystery, being arrogant, luxury, creativity, things like that. So but that's pretty much into this deck here. So anyways, the deck is available on Etsy, and you've got me here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit longer than the other one, probably about 10, 15 minutes, but you've got everything here. All right. So good night. Take care. Good morning whenever you're seeing this. And I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.